Have you about had it with your pellet grill's smart controller? Well, you're not alone, and the folks from FireBoard have heard you, and I've got my hands on a brand new prototype unit, which promises to bring even grills like my Traeger Pro 22 from the dark ages of pellet grill technology up to the latest and greatest technology specifications. Let's get into it. Can we upgrade the brain of an older pellet grill and bring it up to the latest and greatest spec and potentially save thousands of dollars in the process? That's what I want to find out. An older grill like this, which is still for sale, versus one with a newer brain, can cost 5 to 10 times more than the deal that you can get on one of these older models. And in the world of technology, this isn't surprising. If I look back to when this came out over a decade ago, smartphones at the time came with things like 5-megapixel cameras. And so a lot has happened, especially in the world of technology, over the past 10 years. And so the hypothesis for today's video is, can we upgrade the digital heart of an old relic to a modern grill and solve all the common problems that people run into in terms of temperature control, huge spikes and lags, let alone the ability to actually reach and hold their temperature, plus all the extra bonus goodies that you get with a newer grill in terms of being able to have additional temperature probes, Wi-Fi control, smart app control, let alone programmable functions where we can start at one temperature and automatically increase the temperature without needing to interact with our grill. These are all top of mind for what I want to uncover today's video. But before we do that, we've got a little bit of installation work to do. Let's come nice and close and get to work installing our new brain.
A few moments later.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that falls in the category of almost too easy. In fact, the most difficult thing for me, as I'm still in the phase of recovering from knee surgery, was getting down on all fours so I could access the wires and control panel. But after propping it up, this was just a matter of removing some factory zip ties, unplugging 4 color-coded connectors and matching them to the same color-coded connectors on the back of my FireBoard Drive, and that's it. The installation was also very straightforward. I have the optional magnetic installation kit with the weatherproof seal around the outside. So rather than having to drill any holes into the auger portion of our pellet grill, I'm able to just line this up and it's magnetically held into place, including with the weather stripping to make sure we are good to go. And almost in a fate of fortune of too good to be true, plug this into power and everything recognized immediately. In fact, it's going so quickly, we're already up to temperature after adding some pellets and hitting the go button for the very first time. So I didn't plan on this going as fast as it did, but I have a pork shoulder sitting in the refrigerator for just such an occasion, and I can't wait to show you why. So many people online love grills like the Lone Star grills, which comes with the FireBoard controller at its heart, or why several years ago I awarded the FireBoard Drive as my go-to fan controller of choice when testing them on a series of Kamado grills, is for things like their programs as well as their integration. So I have a few more tricks up my sleeve to show you once we get our pork shoulder out, as well as a few more high quality pellets in the hopper so that we can move into a smoke session. So what I really want to show you is back over by the smoker. So I won't spend too much time here. I'm just going to keep things simple with a couple store-bought rubs. So I'm going to go for a bit of a savory layer. It doesn't matter what you use here, but you want something with a little bit of depth and some salt for flavor. And actually some friends locally, they make this habanero honey spice, which is great for sweetening things up and giving us a little bit of kick. So those are going to be my 2 flavor profiles. I've got some butcher twine here to truss this up so it holds shape a little bit better versus what we got here from Costco. So I'll take you fast forward while we get this out and get it ready to get on the pit. Touch this back up. Let's sit out for about an hour and we'll meet you back over by the pit. So what is it that I was so excited? Well, actually, there's two things before we answer the real question, which is, does all of this work? So we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for our pulled pork shoulder at this stage to answer that question. But now that it's had an hour to hang out and let that salt to start to do its work and moisten up and adhere to our roast, some of the keen eye observers may have already spotted part one, which is the FireBoard Pulse, which is designed to wirelessly connect. And so to try and show, I've not done any additional setup. I'm gonna have a camera sitting on the control panel and another one I'll wear on the body camera so we can see everything involved with getting our pork shoulder onto the grill. The second part of the magic comes down in drive programs. This is something I fell in love with my FireBoard Drive a number of years ago, and we can add to any FireBoard product, including our new controller. So this means, in plain English, I can do what we're doing right now. Start nice and low and slow. I've got it set to 200 degrees. We're at 203 degrees Fahrenheit, and I could take advantage of a smokier pellet and go for a super smoke mode, and then either based on time or temperature, automatically, without needing to be here or do anything, bring that up to a hotter smoke to finish our pork shoulder in a more reasonable amount of time. These are some features I'm excited to show you, but also see how they come together in practice. So let's get nice and close, and I'll show you the first part of adding our pulse and setting up our drive program. Well, I hope that worked as well as I think it did, where you could see almost instantly, as soon as we removed the pulse, that the drive program switched over, where I was seeing the internal and external ambient sensor temperature on the wireless probe, and or I could switch on the control panel to see all probes, including up to 6 if we had added in some additional wired probes. After that, I set up our drive program to go for time versus temperature, but you can do either one. So I'm gonna do about an hour and a half at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then bump the temperatures up automatically. So while I may need to wait upwards of 8 to 10 hours for some pulled pork and give you my final thoughts in terms of how our heart transplant upgrade is actually performing, the wait for you will go by just like that. So our pork shoulder has finished the rest. I brought out just before starting to shred a little bit of extra rub along with this dish, some cotton gloves and nitrile gloves to try and protect my hands while I'm doing a shredding, and burn a little bit, but they help reduce some of the heat getting through to your hands. And as you can see, we are greeted with a juicy, tender pork, and now we get the best part for me, at least, to see how we did on the taste test. But the real point of bringing you back here is to do a recap exactly on how our FireBoard Drive upgrade went, but I'd be remiss if we didn't at least take a little bit of sample of dinner that we've cooked for some friends. Cheers. Might go for a double tap on that, that's good. Okay, so time to dive into the heart of today's video, which is, can we replace the physical heart of our grill with a more modern controller and get a better experience? I don't think I showed you earlier, but if I compare some of the data that I recorded before doing the upgrade with the stock controller, I absolutely see what people online are mentioning in their comments in terms of either significantly overshooting our temperatures to some erratic control sort of up and down, and like a clock that's wrong, it's correct twice a day. Much can be said of the stock controller, where between the swings, we absolutely eventually see our temperature, but we don't spend a lot of time very close to what we set our temperatures at. And this, in part, is because this is not a PID controller. This is something that you gain in a more expensive pellet grill than the model that I'm using today. And a PID controller, if you haven't heard that term or you're looking for that functionality, is a smart algorithm that figures out how aggressively to feed the pellets based on our conditions. It's getting cool here, and so the amount of pellets that I need in winter months versus summer months are all things that a PID controller can figure out, whereas a traditional controller, you set a temperature and it's just got a set rate that it is feeding pellets into our hopper, and that's what the temperature is going to come out with, and you don't have the flexibility or smart learning capabilities. The other issues that were reported online with the stock controller, besides really overshooting our temperature or undershooting and having a hard time recovering if we set the temperatures up and or open our lid, were completely addressed if I look at the before and after data with the FireBoard upgrade installed. In fact, even as the cook went on, I saw the lines getting progressively flatter and flatter. I imagine as the PID controller was starting to make sense of our environment and the size of the smoker that we installed this in, and I was getting nice stable temperatures, including any moments where I had the lid open in order to service our pulled pork. Spraying with some apple cider vinegar and half water was exactly what you saw, those little dips in the chart to make sure that we had great bark formation. A few other things I didn't mention out, you see here is we also have a USB-C cable in the bottom of our FireBoard. So I've just recharged nearly completely my Pulse, so it is ready to go. So whether you're charging a smartphone and or recharging your Pulse, you can do that. And if you don't want to go wireless, you've got 6 probe ports up from the stock 2 on our original controller that we can keep track of a number of different things, particularly if you have a larger grill that you are considering this upgrade for. And let's not forget the drive programs, which I'm absolutely a huge fan of. And anytime that I've used a FireBoard on another type of smoker, but in this instance where we're able to start our smoke nice, low and slow, take advantage of some of those pellets with more flavor at a low temperature, and then bump the temperatures up automatically without even needing to be here to control that. And you can even go further, which is if we are away, I could turn my pellet grill into a hot holding oven. So as our pork shoulder rose maybe to 185, 190 degrees, I could start programming down steps into that and turn this into a hot holding oven until I'm able to come home and remove it from the grill. There is a whole bunch of things that you can do with these drive programs, including some support communities online that can help you get even more. Given this still is a prototype product, I don't have final pricing and details, but I'll put a link down below, including to the FireBoard website, where I believe you can sign up for information and alerts and be given first opportunity to check this out when all the details come online. But I would say, if you've been thinking about binning your grill out of frustration with your controller, it may not be the actual grill's hardware that's the problem versus the brain that is about a decade old in terms of its level of intelligence that is causing all of your frustrations. And based on my experience in terms of solving the problems with temperature spikes, holding nice temperatures, temperature recovery, and gaining all the modern amenities on a grill costing up to 5 times more, I'm gonna give this 2 thumbs up. Thanks again for tuning in, and don't be afraid to fire it up.